Hey friends, late night here. So I was just watching a movie now, and it's not something I typically watch, and it might be funny to you, but I was watching a Korean drama in Korean with English subtitles. Now, this isn't something I usually do often, but every once in a while, I like to catch a good love story, and sometimes they're, international movies. But anyways, I got some nuggets from this movie, and it was just a beautiful story. And this woman was blind. And when you're blind and you can't see, the only way to see people is with your hands, by you touching their face and feeling their features. And that's how you read them. That's how you see them, is by doing that. And this woman, she went to this man's work every day, and it was an accident because she thought she was visiting somebody else at first. But she got to know him, and they both kind of like fell in love with each other, and he wanted her to have this surgery. So he wanted her to see him, and he wanted her to see, future, the things in her future. She didn't have babies, she didn't have children or anything. And this man wanted her to have this surgery so that she could see the beauty, the beautiful things in the world. And so he went and he sacrificed, and he did a lot so that this woman could have this surgery. And his life was threatened because of it. But then after this surgery, which was successful, so she was able to see again, her boyfriend, or this man, became a missing person. And she couldn't find him. But then one day, she went to this hospital and she gave people massages because she was really good at them. And I think maybe that was her way of serving and helping people. But anyways, she saw this man, and he was in pretty rough shape. And she started giving him a massage. And he didn't speak. He knew who she was. And that was her boyfriend. That was the one that she fell in love with. But she did not see him, because the only way that she could see him was by touching his features. But she already had the surgery, so you understand that when she sees him for the first time, she's not going to know him, because she knew him by touching his face. But he knew who she was, but he did not tell her who he was. He couldn't even speak. He laid on that bed in tears, and he couldn't speak. I don't know if it was gripped from fear or what it was. But then, soon enough, he healed enough and he was able to leave the hospital. And they kept on stumbling upon each other because he ended up going and finding where this woman worked. And he bought some of the sculptures that she created. She became this sculptor where she made clay pots and beautiful things with her hands because she could see. And they shared this dog together. And this dog was super excited because animals, when they see your face, when they spend time with you, they recognize you. They know who you are. And this dog was frantic because he recognized this person. He recognized the man. And she didn't understand why her dog was so frantic. Like, what's wrong with you? You're normally so calm. What's wrong with you? But then, she started to reflect that maybe this man was someone that she knew before. So she goes and she starts trying to find him. She starts running all over the city trying to find him, and she's crying and crying because she can't find him. And he ends up getting on a bus and he leaves, you know. And actually before that, he saw her on the street, but he refused to speak. He didn't tell her how he felt. He didn't tell her who he was to her. So this woman was trying to find out as much as she could. She tried to find out how to locate this man so that she could communicate with him and basically tell him, like, that she knew who he was. So she finally finds out where he is, and she goes to him, and she's like, look at me. Why did you make me look at myself? Why did you make me see myself and not you? You know? He's the one who forced her to see. But ultimately, she was missing him. And the beautiful part about, you know, although she was blind, and there was an accident as she was blind, why she was blind, but she saw the beauty in that man's face by touching him. And I guess what was sad to me was that he knew who she was, but he never said anything. You know, and at the end of the movie, he finally tells her, I love you. You know? I don't know, that was a tearjerker for me. So I guess the whole point of this video is, you know, if you have it in your power, you know, to speak, then speak. You know, I think it's really important to share how you feel with people. I don't think we should sugarcoat anything. Yes, we need to be gentle, but I'm saying, like, tell people how you feel. If you think they're great, tell them that. If you love someone, tell them that. You know? There's so much time being wasted because we don't say how we feel, you know? And I'm definitely a person that I do say things. I do share how I feel because I want people to know those things. You know, I don't point people's faults out to them. What I'm saying is, you know, I encourage people, but what I'm saying is that if I think people are great, then I want to go out of my way and say it. If I love someone, I want to go out of my way and say it. I don't want to hold back. I don't want to pretend. I want to say how I feel. So I guess my encouragement to you is, don't be afraid to be real with people. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable with people. Life is short. We gotta say how we feel sometimes and not hold back out of fear. That man was gripping with fear. He didn't want to speak. But then it finally came out. He finally told that woman how he really felt. So, I don't know. I don't typically watch movies in a different language, but dang, this was a tearjerker. This was good. There is so much that we can learn by watching other people and by listening to other people. There's so much wisdom that we can learn. Wisdom is your friend. I really believe so. It really is. And we can learn so many things just by being open-minded, being willing to humble ourselves, and just be willing to listen and to just try to understand people. All right, you guys have a great night. I just wanted to come on here and share what a beautiful story that was. But just, it was driving me nuts in that movie. It's like, why aren't you saying something? Why aren't you speaking to the one that you love? Why don't you tell her that you know who she is? Why don't you do that? See you next time, friends.